All right, welcome back. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut in tabs for the left side and tabs for the front. And I think we're going to keep them with just 5 tabs on each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This worked well and looked nice. It looks a little goofy that there's small tabs and large tabs. And I can show you to come back and edit how many tabs there are and change that in the future. But for now, let's just start with 5 front and 5 back. It works well for most size boxes. Okay. So to do that, we need to rotate down. So first of all, I'm going to go back to my home view, which I'm already kind of at. I'm going to rotate down to the bottom, and I'm going to click Create a Sketch on the bottom. Now right now, I can see the sides and everything, and that's pretty confusing. So what I'm going to do is turn everything off but the bottom. And that way I can just focus on cutting the bottom. So it's just like cutting the front and the back, except we have to do it along this edge, and the top and the bottom, but it's all the exact same work. So I'm going to create a little rectangle. This side should be, so I want 5 tabs. So each one needs to be the length divided by 10 instead of divided by 5. And the length is like we're on this side right now, so that's the length side. So I'm going to do length, enter, divided by 10, twice the number of tabs. Oh, that was wrong. I'm going to Control Z on that and undo it. I didn't set the thickness yet, so I'm going to drag out the rectangle again. This time it's asked me the top one, so I'm going to do thickness for that one. And then tab, length, divided by 10, which is twice the number of tabs we want. Enter. I'm going to center this tab on this one. And then I'm going to create a rectangular pattern. And I'm going to highlight the things that I want to create a rectangular pattern of, and just those 3 right there. And I'm going to click, so I want to go up, down, so I want the second set of 3, because remember these first 3 are for the blue direction. So this one I want to be 5 again. And the distance I want them to go is going to be divided by 5 here, I think, right? So let's try it. Length, enter, divided by 5. And they're all in one direction right now, so I want to do it symmetrical. Zoom out and see what I can see. Yep, that was it. That's the one I wanted. Enter. Now here's the only problem, is that on the bottom, normally we would cut out this area. Well, let me move this FX thing again. It's in the way again. We would normally want to cut out this one, like this little area here, and leave the outside edge. But on the bottom, we don't want that. We want to cut the outside edges and leave the next one in, because we don't want the edge, the bottom, to be breaking through this edge. We want to get this nice, clean, pretty line here, and the first tab be over here somewhere. So what that means is I actually want to cut out this little rectangle in here, but when I try and click on it, it highlights everything. So what we need to do is we need to draw a line straight down this side and then make it right on like the thickness from the side. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to grab a line tool. I'm going to click on the top somewhere, and then I'm going to click on the bottom. And what I was looking for, let me undo that and show you that again. So I'm going to click somewhere on the top, and then I'm going to click on the bottom. See that little right triangle thing? That's what I'm looking for. That means I'm directly below. I'm 90 degrees to that side. That line is perfectly straight. And notice this 90-degree thing too tells me it's perfectly up and down. So once I do that, I get a blue line, which means I haven't told it where left and right to be yet. So I'm going to do the dimensioning tool, D, letter D on the keyboard. Click on the line and click on this all the way on this side over here. And I want this to be the thickness of the material. And then enter to draw the line or to move the line. And then there. Now it's exactly lined up with the back of these things. So now I can actually come in here. If I hit escape, I can come in here and select just that little box and cut that box away. All right, so now I've got that side all set up. I can mirror this to the other side. I'm going to grab this tool. I'm going to turn it to a construction line. Find the very middle. There it is right there. just a little bit of a line, doesn't matter how much. As long as it's straight down, you're okay. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do mirror tool. And I'm going to zoom in and do all the things I want to mirror. So I want to mirror this one big line and then each of these little vertical ones. I don't need to actually mirror each of these other little lines over here because they already have the big line for that. I'm going to carefully select them all, and because I chose 5 tabs, I should have 2 lines per tab for 10 lines, plus the one big line for 11, and I have 11, so that feels really good to me. And now I'm going to say, okay, what's the mirror line? I want you to mirror on the middle of the box, and they just drew them all there for me, so I'm like, okay. And now I'm going to, before I extrude here, I'm going to actually draw the top ones and the bottom ones in, and it might get a little bit confusing looking. So let's see if we can do this well. First thing I'm going to do is come here and do a rectangle tool anywhere on here. So, I have construction lines on. Let me turn the construction line off. And I'm going to do this side is the thickness. Enter. Tab, and then on here I'm still going to do 5, so I want each tab to be 1/10, 5 times 2, 1/10 the width of the box, because this is the width side. So we're going to do width, enter, divided by 2 times the number of tabs, so 2 times 5 tabs is 10, enter. And the reason we use that, remember, because for every tab we have an opening. So each one needs to be not 1/5 the width, but 1/10 the width. So there's room for 10 pieces. So I'm going to take my midpoint tool, click here, click there. That lines it up midpoint. And now I'm going to do the create rectangular pattern tool. I'm going to just click on, I'm going to zoom in here. And I'm going to do this piece, that piece. And I'm going to do it in, let's see, this time I want the blue direction is the correct direction. So I want the top 3. Remember, the top 3 always go with the blue direction. So here we said we want to do 5 tabs. And we're going to do them symmetrically. And the distance is spacing, and the distance is the width divided by 5, I think is the right amount. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to click OK. Awesome. So that does that. Now we need to draw that line that we had before, like this line, because again, I want to cut this whole corner away. So I want this to be solid wood and this to be a hole. Solid wood, hole. So it's kind of the opposite of the front and the back. So I'm going to grab another thing. I'm just going to put it anywhere here. This. If you draw this line and it shows up as being black instead of blue, you've got to delete that line, because if it's black, it means it's already locked into place. You can't move it. So you need to draw it as, if you see it drawn as black, just undo it and find a different place to start the line and draw it again till you get it blue. So now I'm going to dimension this line. I'm going to say from here to here is the, click again, sorry, to set the location, is the thickness of material. Enter, enter, and you're right there, good. And now we can delete all of this away and keeping the other stuff. All right, so now we need to do another construction line. So we're going to click here on the line tool. I'm going to click construction, and this time I'm going to show you a different technique for it. I'm just going to draw a line straight across anywhere in the middle. I don't care where, just anywhere. And notice it shows up orange, which means it's not been located well yet. In this case, it could still move around in any direction because we just said draw a line anywhere. So we're going to use the dimensioning tool, and we're going to say, I want this line to be halfway between this one and this one. So we know that this length here is called length. This distance is called length. So I'm going to click on that side, that tool, and we're going to say we want it to be length divided by 2. That's the other way to make it halfway in between. Okay. And so I'm going to hit escape to get out of the dimensioning tool. Now this is my mirror line halfway between those two. We did it by math instead of by the midway point. And now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to mirror some stuff. So I'm going to go mirror, and I'm going to grab on all of these little lines. Whoops, nope, I got the corner. See how I got the corner instead? So now I've got the line. There we go. Now I've got the lines. This is not the right line. I don't want to mirror. This is the line for the side, so I don't want to mirror that. And I'm going to move over. I'm just going to grab them all. There's one. There's one. And when I'm done, again, I should have 2 per tab, so 10. Plus, I want to grab this long line across the side. So I should have 11 things. I have 11 things, so I'm going to, my mirror line, I'm going to say what the mirror line is. And it's going to mirror it across that line. And when I did that, yep, it drew it all right down here, so I'm going to hit OK. Oh my gosh, there's so many little rectangles on this thing. So now what we need to do is we need to extrude out all the things we want to get rid of. Again, we want to have this corner cut all the way away here. So let's start one of the corners, just work our way around. I'm going to hit E for the extrude tool. I'm going to zoom in on this corner here, and I want to cut this, this, and this away. And then I want to skip it and go that. Oh, too much. This is where I clicked on something weird and it won't ungo blue. So you know what? I'm just going to start over. Be more careful in the future. So click on this one, this one, this one. So that whole corner goes away. And then every other one. So that was an example before when I clicked wrong. If I was trying to move fast, and if you were to do the wrong one, so you clicked on this one instead, if you click on it again, it should get rid of it. If it doesn't, like I clicked on that one, oops, undo it. Okay, it does it just fine. If it doesn't, it stays blue. Unless you can figure out how to undo it, you gotta just cancel the selection and select them again. This is where taking a little bit of time and going a little bit slower will actually save you time in the long run, because you won't make those mistakes and have to start over all the time. Because by the time I get to right about here, if I accidentally click the wrong thing and I can't get it to work, I can't get it to unclick, I got to start all of it over again, and that's frustrating. So I've got everything I needed. I'm going to zoom out, make sure the pattern looks good. Yeah, it looks nice and consistent. I don't see any problems with it. And then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to rotate so I can see which way it's extruding. And it's extruding up on me. I want it to extrude through the body. And I'm going to change this distance to all the way through. And then it's perfectly through. I can zoom in and see that. Yep, awesome. Click OK. Just cut the bottom. So I'm going to click back to this normal view. And you can see now that I have a piece that looks something like this. Beautiful. We are rocking and rolling now. So now I'm going to turn the sides on. The front, the right side, left side, and the back. And you can actually see it poking out here. You're like, oh, okay, that worked out perfectly. But here's the problem. If I do the move tool, click on the side, there's actually no holes cut in this piece for this wood to go into. So it's not actually done yet. So I'm going to hit cancel to undo that move. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bottom as a tool to cut the side, each side. So I'll have to do the combine tool 4 times. So my target body, the thing I'm going to cut is the side. And I'm going to cut it with the bottom. I'm going to keep tool and say, okay. Then I'm going to combine, and I'm going to say, what's my target? I'm going to cut the side with the bottom. Okay. And unfortunately, you can't choose more than one target body. So my target body is this. I can't also choose that. Like I go back up here. It only lets me choose one thing. So I can get this one or the other one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now it's totally wrong. Hit X there. Hit X there. So I'm going to cut the side. I'm going to use the bottom and then click OK. And one last time. I'm going to cut the side using the bottom. OK. And now I have all my joints fully cut out. If I use the move tool, move, and I click on this one, drag this out, and now you can see there are holes cut into the side. Holes cut into all 4 sides here. Cancel that. The box is ready to rock and roll. So the next thing I want to do in the next video is show you how you can change the dimensions of the box. And then we'll start laying it flat so that we can use it for our laser cutter. And I'll show you how to do all that work in the next video.